Awesome. Man, it is so good to see you all today. My name is Demetrius. If I had a chance to meet you, my name is Demetrius. I'm in the Army. I'm stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, with my wife and two beautiful kids. I spent over a year here at Oak City. This is literally my second home. I think about you guys all the time, specifically like you high school students. Everywhere I go, I tell the story of you guys here. What you have is something special. And what I tell people is, man, I wish I had this when I was you guys' age. So let's give Gabby and the team a round of applause because they do awesome, guys. You know, I commend the team here because we have a problem in America. 70 to 75%, so this American Pew University, they do research, 70 to 75% of Christian youth leave the church after high school. College professors are 5 times more likely to identify themselves as atheists, and many of them are intent on converting their students to atheism. So what I'm hoping to do today is, and this is why I love the team here, we are committed to equipping you with reasons to defend and explain why we believe what we believe. And today, if you don't walk away from anything today, if you don't take away anything today, here's the one thing that I want you to walk away with. No matter what someone throws at you or in the Christian face, here's the one thing I want you to walk away with. God exists. All right? We're moving from preaching like a sermon or a message to this session is training you. And I'm going to be here on Sunday as well. So today we're going to be going over 3 arguments for the existence of God. And then on Sunday, I'm going to be explaining the historical evidence of Jesus' resurrection from the dead. And we need all of you to be able to do this. This is not about having some advanced theological degree or anything like that. Every single one of you can do this. And some of this might go over your head, but it's not out of your reach. So what I ask you to do is, like, if you got a way to take notes, get out your phone. If you promise not to text, get out your phone, take some notes, because the way you understand this is really by taking notes, talking about it, explaining it. I think there's no greater conversation than this. If Jesus is our Lord, then being able to rationally explain what we believe and why we believe it is a biblical command that all of us should be obedient to. This brings us to 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 15. It says, "But in your hearts, sanctify Christ as Lord. Always be prepared to give a defense to everyone who asks you for the reason for the hope that is in you, but do it with gentleness and respect." And see, what I found is that many Christians haven't gotten the breakthrough that they have been really looking for because they haven't been obedient to this command. So the context of 1 Peter chapter 2 and 3 is that if Peter is talking about living a holy life. And so what Peter's saying here is that if you live a holy life, you're going to stand out. And if you stand out, people are going to ask questions. So be prepared to answer those questions. And as I said before, some of you guys know I'm in the Army, and I've had an amazing career that God's provided. So a lot of young folks, 19, 20 years old, they always ask me, like, what about your career? So they see something different in me, and so they ask, like, hey, how did you get successful? What about your career that made you successful? And I always respond like this. I always say, well, I try to, pattern my life after, a role model, and I try to pattern my life after this guy named Jesus of Nazareth. And so I told this 20-year-old this one time, I said it just like that, Jesus of Nazareth. He said, I never heard of that guy. And I was like, oh yeah, man, he was great. He lived about 2,000 years ago in Israel. He did some amazing things. You probably know him after the faith that's named after him, Christianity. He was like, oh yeah, I know that guy. Yeah, he claimed to forgive sins and he claimed to teach the truth. And I was like, yeah, that's him. So, I was leveling with him a little bit. And so I said, he actually just, not only did he claim to teach the truth, he actually claimed to be the truth, the physical embodiment of truth. And he kind of stared off in space for a little bit. And he was like, yeah, that's different. And then I was able to explain the gospel to this kid in the next 10 or 15 minutes or so. But what he saw was something different in me, and he wanted to know what it was, and I was ready to provide a reason for the hope that is in me. So here's the thing. If you're not prepared to explain that reason, here's what tends to happen. You tend to not live a holy life, so you don't stand out and you don't attract a question that you're not prepared to answer. And so you just blend on in with the rest of the world. You just pop some earbuds in, just scroll, social media, just blend on in with the rest of the world. Look at inappropriate images and disrespect our parents. And then we wonder why Christianity isn't having the impact it's supposed to have. All right? Now, when people do get asked about their faith, we tend to explain it from our personal experience of God. Now, while that is very important, we also have to be able